Night falls, the world quiets. Yet for countless seniors, the silence of evening is broken by a sudden, merciless grip, an invisible hand seizing the calf or thigh, twisting the muscle into knots of pain. These are not just ordinary leg cramps, they are midnight thieves, robbing rest, disrupting dreams, and eroding confidence in the body's strength. Doctors call them nocturnal leg cramps, but to those who endure them, they are far more personal. An unpredictable battle that can transform something as simple as walking across a room or lying down to sleep into a trial of endurance. Why do they strike? And more importantly, how can they be stopped? The answer may not lie in a laboratory or a pharmacy, but somewhere far more familiar, in the foods we've overlooked, hidden in plain sight at the breakfast table, in the fruit bowl, or in the quiet crunch of seeds. Science now confirms what cultures and traditions have whispered for centuries. The nutrients we take in are not just fuel, they are medicine, signal, and strength. Leg cramps, in many ways, are the body's way of speaking, a cry for balance, for nourishment, for restoration. And here is the remarkable truth. 3 humble foods, 3 everyday treasures, hold the potential to relieve muscle tension, restore circulation, and quiet those midnight spasms. Eggs, bananas, nuts, and seeds. Together, they are not just foods, but allies, nature's prescription for resilience. Before we dive into each of them, pause and consider. Aging is often framed as decline, but what if it is instead an invitation? An invitation to listen more closely to the body, to honor what it asks for, and to respond with care. Where once we may have fueled our muscles for ambition or performance, now we nourish them for endurance, mobility, and dignity. Imagine an elderly man, let's call him Samuel. Once a carpenter, his hands built homes, his legs carried him across job sites, his back bore the weight of wood and stone. Now, in his late 70s, Samuel wakes at 2 a.m. with his calf seized in iron pain. He grips the sheets, waiting for the spasm to pass, wishing for relief. He doesn't know that the answer might already be waiting in his kitchen. Leg cramps are not merely random accidents of age. They are stories written in muscle fibers, whispered through the nervous system, and etched by imbalances of electrolytes and nutrients. Dehydration, loss of magnesium, potassium deficiency, weakened nerves. These are the unseen authors of the pain. But if we understand their language, we can change the ending of the story. The foods we're about to reveal do not promise eternal youth. They do something far more profound. They restore connection between body and life. They make the simple joys possible again, walking in the garden, rising from a chair without hesitation, sleeping through the night without fear of waking in pain. Eggs, bananas, nuts, and seeds. Simple, ordinary, yet extraordinary when consumed with understanding. Each of these foods carries within it a secret: amino acids that repair muscle, minerals that stabilize contractions, vitamins that strengthen bones and protect nerves. Across cultures, these foods have long been symbols of vitality. The egg, revered as a symbol of rebirth. The banana, a fruit of endurance for laborers and athletes. Seeds and nuts, once carried by soldiers and wanderers for strength on long journeys. What ancient wisdom intuited, modern science now decodes. So as we begin this journey, ask yourself, what if your next meal could also be your medicine? What if the way to prevent cramps, stiffness, and weakness was not in a bottle on a pharmacy shelf, but in the colors, textures, and flavors of food itself? Tonight, we step into that story. We uncover the 3 superfoods that can calm the storm inside aging muscles. We listen to the science. We honor the history. And most of all, we reclaim hope for mobility, strength, and freedom in the later chapters of life. This is not just about food. This is about dignity, about reclaiming the night from pain, about rewriting what aging can feel like. Let us begin with the first of these golden allies, a food so simple yet so powerful it has nourished civilizations for millennia. The egg, an egg. Fragile in the hand, yet inside it carries the architecture of life itself. For centuries, it has been the universal symbol of beginnings, painted in sacred rituals, offered at spring festivals, celebrated as a vessel of rebirth. And now, in the quiet kitchens of seniors searching for relief, the egg emerges once again, not as a symbol, but as a remedy. Science confirms what tradition has always sensed. Within the shell lies a powerhouse of nourishment, uniquely designed to sustain life. For older adults, whose muscles often ache, weaken, and betray them in the silence of night, the egg becomes more than breakfast. It becomes medicine. Each large egg holds about 6 grams of high-quality protein. Not just any protein, but a complete symphony of all 9 essential amino acids, the very building blocks our bodies cannot make on their own. Protein is the silent craftsman of the body, repairing microtears in tired muscles, rebuilding tissue after wear, restoring strength after loss. Without it, muscles fatigue, and cramps emerge like uninvited guests in the night. This process of muscle wasting has a name: sarcopenia. It creeps quietly with age, thinning muscle fibers, weakening contractions, and leaving many seniors vulnerable not only to cramps, but to frailty itself. In this war of attrition, the egg is a soldier of resilience, offering the amino acids needed to mend what time seeks to unravel. But protein is only the first act. Hidden in the golden yolk is another treasure: vitamin D. Modern science calls it the sunshine vitamin, but for seniors, it is often a vanishing light. As outdoor activity diminishes and skin becomes less efficient at synthesizing sunlight, vitamin D deficiency rises, dragging with it a host of consequences: weakness, cramps, chronic pain. Here, the egg becomes a bridge to the sun. Its yolk delivers vitamin D, helping calcium bind to bone, strengthening the skeleton, and ensuring muscles contract with precision instead of seizing in rebellion. It is as though each egg carries a shard of sunlight, a reminder that strength is not lost. It can be rekindled. Consider Samuel, our retired carpenter. When his doctor explains that vitamin D deficiency is likely worsening his cramps, Samuel is surprised. "But I eat well," he says. Yet one egg contains only about 40 IUs of vitamin D. A senior may need 800 to 1,000 IUs each day to protect muscles and bones. So eggs must be paired wisely, with fortified milk, with yogurt, with fatty fish like salmon and sardines, or even with the simple act of stepping outside and letting the sun kiss the skin. Beyond protein and vitamin D lies another quiet guardian: vitamin B12. As years pass, the stomach produces less acid, and the body absorbs less of this crucial nutrient. For seniors, especially those on medications like metformin or acid reflux treatments, B12 deficiency can creep in unnoticed. Its consequences are insidious: tingling, burning, spasms, even nerve damage that mimics the very cramps so many dread. Eggs, once again, provide an answer. They are one of the gentlest and most digestible sources of B12, offering seniors not just nourishment, but protection for the nervous system itself. Picture the body's nerves as electrical wires carrying impulses from brain to muscle. B12 is the insulation on those wires, the sheath that ensures signals arrive crisp, clear, and accurate. Without it, signals misfire and muscles cramp in confusion. And then there is choline, another gift hidden in the yolk, rarely discussed, yet essential. Choline preserves the myelin sheath that wraps around nerves, allowing the electrical symphony of contraction and relaxation to play without static. With every bite of an egg, seniors fortify this delicate communication line, reducing cramps born of nervous misfires. But here is where the story deepens. Food is not only science, it is memory, it is ritual. Think of a grandmother cracking eggs into a pan on a Sunday morning, feeding not just her body, but her family's spirit. Each meal is an inheritance of strength, of tradition, of continuity. For seniors, Eating an egg isn't only about nutrients. It's about reclaiming the intimacy of care, the act of saying, my body still matters, my strength still deserves tending. Recent studies confirm that consuming 6 to 7 eggs per week is safe for most healthy seniors without significantly affecting cholesterol. In fact, for many, eggs are a leaner, safer source of protein and B12 than red meat. And while those with heart disease or kidney concerns must consult their doctors, the message is clear. Eggs are not the enemy. They are an ally. So the question lingers. Can something as simple as an egg, eaten regularly, truly guard against the pain of nighttime cramps? The answer, whispered by both science and tradition, is yes. Not as a cure-all, but as a cornerstone, a foundation on which muscle strength, nerve function, and dignity can be rebuilt. The egg, humble yet profound, stands as the first sentinel in this trilogy of healing foods. For centuries, civilizations turned their faces to the sun in reverence. Ancient Egyptians worshipped Ra, the life-giver. The Greeks built temples to Helios, the radiant one. And long before modern science named it vitamin D, humanity sensed that the sun carried within it something sacred, something essential to the vigor of life. Today we know what they only intuited. Sunlight awakens the skin, triggering the production of vitamin D, a nutrient woven into the architecture of bones, muscles, and nerves. Yet here lies the quiet tragedy of modern aging. Many seniors spend less time outdoors, their skin less efficient in producing this vital compound. And in that fading light, cramps, weakness, and pain slip into the night like unwelcome guests. Enter the egg, the golden proxy for sunlight. Its yolk contains vitamin D, modest in quantity, yes, but powerful in purpose. Combined with fortified dairy, fatty fish like salmon, or a carefully measured supplement, the humble egg becomes part of a daily defense against deficiency. Why does this matter? Because vitamin D does more than just strengthen bones. It is the gatekeeper of calcium, ensuring it is absorbed and delivered to where it is needed most, into the muscle fibers that contract and release in every step, every grasp, every heartbeat. Without it, calcium drifts aimlessly, muscles misfire, and cramps erupt like sudden storms in the night. Studies show that seniors deficient in vitamin D are more likely to suffer frequent and intense leg cramps. The science is clear. When vitamin D falters, the chain of strength is broken. Muscles stiffen, movements slow. Even chronic pain begins to whisper in the joints and bones. Imagine again our carpenter Samuel. His doctor explains that each egg provides about 40 IU of vitamin D, but his daily need? 800 to 1,000 IU. So one egg isn't enough? He asks. The doctor smiles. It is a start, a stepping stone. But think of your meals as allies. Eggs with milk or with yogurt. A plate of salmon once a week. And, when the sun is kind, a few minutes outside. Let your skin drink in the light. This layering of sources is not just about meeting a number on a nutrition chart. It is about restoring balance, giving the body back the tools it once had in abundance. And for seniors, that balance can mean the difference between restless nights and peaceful sleep, between weakness and strength, between dependence and independence. Yet there is something poetic here too. To eat an egg is to bring the sunlight indoors. Each yolk, rich and golden, holds within it the faint echo of the sun's power, captured in the life of a hen, transferred to our plates, and then into our bodies. It is as though the warmth of daylight has been distilled, offering seniors not just nutrients, but hope. But science cautions us as well. Diet alone may not be enough. For some, supplements are essential. For others, medical conditions like kidney disease may alter how vitamin D is processed. This is why guidance matters, why no food, however powerful, should exist without wisdom in its use. Still, for most seniors, the lesson remains beautifully simple. The path to stronger muscles, steadier steps, and calmer nights begins with light. Whether it shines from the sky, glows in the yolk of an egg, or comes in the form of a daily supplement, vitamin D is the silent ally that holds the body together. To age without it is to drift in shadows. To embrace it is to carry the sun within. Imagine for a moment that the body is a vast city. The muscles are its factories, tirelessly working, contracting, lifting, moving. But these factories cannot run without signals, the electricity that tells them when to start, when to stop, when to rest. That electricity flows through the nervous system, a sprawling network of wires carrying messages at the speed of life. Now imagine those wires fraying, the insulation peeling, sparks misfiring, signals traveling in confusion, muscles twitch without command, cramps surge without warning. This is what happens when vitamin B12 begins to fade from the body. For seniors, this fading is not uncommon. Stomach acid declines with age, impairing absorption. Medications, metformin for diabetes, proton pump inhibitors for reflux, further steal away what little remains. And slowly, silently, B12 deficiency creeps in. The consequences are profound. Tingling in the legs, burning sensations in the feet, weakness, numbness, even nerve damage. For many, these symptoms are mistaken for aging itself, when in truth they are the body's cry for restoration. And here, once again, the egg comes forward as savior. Each egg provides a meaningful dose of B12, gentle on digestion, accessible even to those who struggle with heavier meats. Unlike steak or liver, the egg does not overwhelm. It nourishes quietly, restoring the insulation of the nervous system, rewrapping the frayed wires, allowing signals to travel true once more. Alongside B12 is choline, a nutrient often overlooked, yet crucial for maintaining the myelin sheath, the protective coating that surrounds nerves like the rubber casing around electrical cables. Without this sheath, messages from the brain arrive scrambled, and muscles cramp in confusion. With it, the symphony of contraction and release plays smoothly, as it was designed. For seniors battling diabetic neuropathy, or those who wake at night with muscles seizing from misfired signals, eggs are more than food. They are therapy. They are the quiet guardians of nerve health. But the story of B12 is not only scientific, it is deeply human. When coordination falters, when the legs refuse to obey, when numbness creeps into the feet, it is not only the body that suffers. The spirit suffers too. Independence is questioned. Confidence erodes. A simple walk across the room becomes a negotiation with fear. This is why B12 matters. It is not merely about reducing cramps. It is about restoring autonomy, protecting dignity, allowing seniors to move not in hesitation, but in trust of their own bodies. Consider the alternative. Left unchecked, B12 deficiency can cause anemia, robbing muscles of oxygen and compounding fatigue. It can lead to lasting nerve damage, locking cramps into place as permanent companions. But with eggs, seniors reclaim a simple, accessible defense. One that does not require exotic diets or complex regimens, only the willingness to embrace a food as ancient as life itself. For vegetarians who allow dairy but not meat, eggs are often the most reliable source of B12, standing as a bridge where other foods fall short. For seniors wary of heavy red meats, eggs offer a leaner path to nourishment. And for those whose digestion struggles with complexity, the egg provides clarity and ease. It is remarkable, isn't it? That something so small, so ordinary, can repair the very circuits of life. That in the act of cracking an egg into a pan, a senior may be protecting not only their muscles, but their freedom. When we think of aging, we often imagine decline as inevitable. Yet here, in the simple nutrients of an egg, we find a quiet rebellion. Proof that decline is not destiny, that with the right nourishment, the wires of life can be rewoven, the electricity of movement restored. The egg, fragile yet enduring, continues its role as a cornerstone of strength. First as protein to mend muscle, then as vitamin D to carry the sun indoors. And now as B12, the spark that keeps the city alive, the current that allows the body to move in harmony with itself. The egg is powerful, yes, but like every powerful ally, it must be approached with wisdom. For seniors, the question often rises at the breakfast table: how many is safe? How many is enough? Science offers reassurance. Research now shows that for most healthy older adults, eating 6 to 7 eggs per week is not only safe but beneficial, with little to no adverse effect on cholesterol levels. The old fear of eggs as villains to the heart has largely been overturned. In fact, when compared to processed meats, eggs emerge not as a threat, but as a healthier protector of cardiovascular well-being. And yet, balance remains essential. For those with existing heart conditions, elevated cholesterol, or kidney concerns, guidance from a physician is vital. Sometimes the answer is moderation. Whole eggs for some meals, egg whites for others. For seniors with kidney disease, limiting protein intake may be necessary. For those with diabetes, pairing eggs with fiber-rich vegetables and whole grains can help maintain stable blood sugar levels. Practicality matters too. Eggs are versatile. They can be boiled for easy digestion, scrambled with leafy greens, or folded into hearty vegetable omelets. When combined with spinach, kale, or almonds, their power multiplies. Calcium absorption improves, antioxidants join the fight, electrolytes replenish. In this way, the egg is not a solitary remedy, but a partner in a broader symphony of nutrition. But beyond science and practicality, the egg carries a deeper resonance. Food is never only about nutrients. It is about ritual, memory, and belonging. Think of a grandmother at dawn, cracking eggs into a pan, the smell filling the kitchen, her family gathering around. That simple act is more than cooking. It is care embodied. For seniors, continuing these rituals is itself an act of defiance against decline. To eat with intention is to declare, I still matter. My health is still worth tending. Each egg is not just sustenance. It is continuity, a thread linking present strength to past tradition. And so, the egg stands as the first sentinel in our trilogy. Its protein rebuilds, its vitamin D brightens, its B12 restores, its choline protects. It is a complete food, a humble hero, a golden ally hidden in plain sight. But the journey does not end here, for cramps and muscle pain are rarely vanquished by one nutrient alone. The body is a system, a delicate balance of fluids, minerals, and signals. Where the egg strengthens and repairs, another food replenishes and soothes. To uncover it, we must look not to the farmyard, but to the orchards and markets of the world. To a fruit as common as it is powerful, a fruit that carries within it the mineral of endurance, the spark of fluid balance, the silent key to nerve and muscle harmony. The banana. In the bustling markets of South America, bananas hang in golden clusters, glowing like sunlight captured in fruit. In Asia, they are carried in woven baskets, offered in temples as symbols of abundance. In Africa, they fuel long journeys under relentless heat. Across the globe, this fruit has been both sustenance and symbol, a humble companion to workers, athletes, and families for generations. But within its soft flesh lies a quiet secret. Potassium, a mineral so vital that without it, muscles lose their rhythm, nerves stumble in their signals, and the harmony of contraction and relaxation collapses. For seniors, potassium is more than a nutrient, it is a lifeline. Each medium banana delivers around 420 milligrams, nearly 12% of the daily requirement. And with every bite, potassium flows into the bloodstream, regulating muscle contractions, stabilizing nerve communication, and balancing the delicate fluid equilibrium that keeps cells alive and hydrated. Why does this matter? Because when potassium levels fall, a condition known as hypokalemia, the body pays a heavy price. Muscles cramp, stiffen, and spasm. Nerves misfire like static-filled radios. Even the heart itself, a muscle, can falter in its rhythm. Seniors, already vulnerable to dehydration, poor appetite, or medications such as diuretics, often find themselves at the crossroads of deficiency. And at that crossroads, leg cramps await. Picture again Samuel, our retired carpenter. His nights are restless, his calf muscles tightening without mercy. A blood test reveals potassium deficiency, his diet lacking in fruits, his medications leaching away what little remained. The prescription, not always a pill, but sometimes a simple banana at breakfast, or another in the afternoon. Within days, the midnight storms begin to subside. The beauty of potassium is that it is both shield and sword. It not only prevents cramps, but restores balance once muscles have already been taxed. Like a conductor guiding an orchestra, potassium ensures that every nerve impulse, every muscle fiber, every contraction follows the proper score. Without it, the music of movement becomes chaotic. With it, the body returns to harmony. Bananas do more than offer potassium. They also deliver magnesium, a mineral that works hand in hand with potassium, calming excitable muscles and stabilizing electrical activity. Each banana contains about 32 milligrams, helping to reduce spasms, improve recovery, and keep cramps at bay. For seniors whose magnesium levels are often depleted, bananas are a gentle, natural replenishment. And then there is hydration. Bananas, rich in natural carbohydrates and electrolytes, help the body retain fluid and avoid the dehydration that often triggers cramps. For seniors, eating 1 to 2 bananas a day, especially with water or coconut water, can mean fewer nights interrupted, fewer mornings shadowed by pain. But the banana is more than just biology. It is endurance made edible. Marathon runners line up at race stations, peeling bananas mid-stride. Farmers in fields keep them in pockets as fuel. Children carry them to school as a snack that steadies energy. Across cultures, the banana is a universal fruit of resilience. And for seniors, it becomes a bridge between weakness and strength, between restless nights and restful mornings, between decline and vitality. Simple, accessible, affordable, yet profoundly powerful. The lesson is clear. Cramps are not simply random attacks. They are signals. And potassium, found in abundance in bananas, is often the missing answer. To eat 1 banana a day is to arm the body with a warrior's defense. To eat 2 is to build a fortress against recurring pain. But potassium alone is not enough. To truly master the art of muscle health, the body requires not only minerals, but calm, energy, and restoration. And within the banana lies yet another secret, a vitamin that speaks directly to the nerves themselves. Vitamin B6, the translator of signals, the healer of inflammation, the quiet force behind muscle recovery. And it is here that our story of the banana deepens. If potassium is the warrior guarding the body's strength, then magnesium is the sage, quiet, steady, and wise. Where potassium fuels the rhythm of contraction, magnesium ensures release. It tempers overexcited nerves, relaxes restless muscles, and restores the calm that aging bodies so often crave. Each banana, beyond its golden sweetness, carries around 32 milligrams of this mineral. It may seem small, but its impact is vast. Magnesium is essential for producing ATP, the molecule of energy every cell relies upon. It balances calcium and potassium inside the muscle fiber, ensuring that contractions happen when they should and stop when they must. Without magnesium, calcium lingers too long, muscles seize, and cramps bloom like sudden lightning in the night. For many seniors, magnesium deficiency is silent yet severe. Diets stripped of leafy greens, nuts, and seeds leave the body undernourished. Medications, diuretics, blood pressure drugs drain it further. And as levels fall, the body responds with warning signs, twitching, spasms, nighttime cramps that refuse to let go. Here, the banana becomes a nightly ally. Imagine Samuel, our retired carpenter, sitting at his kitchen table in the evening. He peels a banana, its simple sweetness comforting in his hand. He doesn't think of electrolytes or biochemical pathways. He only knows that on the nights he eats one, the storms in his calves are gentler. He begins to make it a ritual, 1 banana an hour before bed with a glass of water. Slowly, sleep becomes a place of peace again. Magnesium's gift is not only physical. It soothes the nervous system itself, lowering inflammation, easing stress, restoring balance to a weary body. Scientists call it the relaxation mineral. Ancient healers might have called it the essence of calm. And for seniors, calm is more than comfort. It is healing. There is poetry in this exchange. The banana, often dismissed as ordinary, holds within it a mineral that untangles the chaos of the body. Like a lighthouse cutting through storm clouds, magnesium restores direction. Muscles no longer tremble at shadows. Nerves no longer misfire with static. Instead, contraction and relaxation move in harmony, the body reclaiming its natural rhythm. But here lies a truth worth remembering. Bananas alone cannot always fill the gap. For many seniors, a variety of magnesium-rich foods, almonds, pumpkin seeds, leafy greens, must join the table. Together, they form a chorus, each contributing its note to the song of strength. Still, the banana plays a special role. Accessible, affordable, portable, it is a fruit of dignity. It requires no preparation, no cooking, no effort beyond the peel. For a senior living alone, this simplicity is not trivial. It is liberation. It means health is within reach, even on days when energy is low, even when cooking feels impossible. Think of the difference. One person lies awake, clutching their leg, waiting for the pain to pass. Another lies down with the quiet assurance that their body has been fortified, their minerals replenished, their muscles soothed. The difference is not age, it is nourishment. Bananas, rich in magnesium, remind us that solutions need not be complex. Sometimes the calm we seek hides in the simplest of places. Sometimes healing is as close as a fruit bowl on the kitchen counter. But the banana holds yet another secret. Beyond potassium and magnesium lies a vitamin, small in amount, yet immense in influence. A vitamin that strengthens nerves, reduces inflammation, and restores energy to weary muscles. A vitamin that, when missing, leaves the body restless and prone to spasms. Vitamin B6, the invisible translator of nerve signals, the quiet spark of recovery. It is here that the banana's story deepens even further. If potassium is the warrior and magnesium the sage, then vitamin B6 is the translator, the unseen interpreter who ensures nerves and muscles understand one another. Without it, communication falters. The language of the body becomes garbled, and when messages arrive scrambled, cramps are the inevitable outcome. Each banana offers about 0.4 milligrams of vitamin B6, nearly 1/3 of a senior's daily requirement. It may seem like a whisper compared to grander nutrients, but in the body, whispers matter. B6 fuels the production of neurotransmitters, chemical messengers like serotonin, dopamine, and GABA that regulate mood, nerve firing, and muscle movement. Without these signals, muscles lose their rhythm, nerves misfire, and cramps or spasms appear like static in a broken radio. But the story of B6 doesn't end at nerves. It seeps into the blood itself, playing a role in the creation of hemoglobin, the protein that carries oxygen to tired muscles. Without oxygen, muscles suffocate, fatigue deepens, and recovery slows. With B6, the blood becomes a river of renewal, carrying strength to every cell. Science confirms what experience already reveals. A 2018 study found that elderly individuals with low vitamin B6 intake were far more likely to suffer frequent leg cramps. And when levels were restored, the nighttime storms began to calm. Picture Samuel, our retired carpenter. He's lived decades building homes, but now his nights are filled with cramps and his days with fatigue. After incorporating bananas into his routine, not only does the cramping ease, but he feels steadier, clearer, as if his body finally listens to itself again. The translator has returned. Vitamin B6 also carries a quieter gift. It reduces inflammation. In aging muscles, inflammation is the hidden ember that smolders beneath the surface, causing stiffness, soreness, and prolonged pain. By restoring B6, the embers cool, the fire recedes, and muscles breathe easier. There is something profoundly symbolic here. The banana, often seen as a fruit for children or athletes, emerges as a bridge for the elderly as well. Its vitamin B6 offers not just physical relief, but a restoration of harmony between body and mind. It transforms exhaustion into resilience, static into clarity, weakness into renewal. Yet, as with all gifts, balance is required. Bananas are rich in natural sugars, and for seniors with diabetes, moderation is key. Pairing them with fiber-rich foods, nuts, whole grains, or seeds slows absorption and prevents blood sugar spikes. In this way, the banana becomes part of a larger harmony, a collaboration of nutrients designed to keep the body steady. Imagine this as a symphony. Potassium is the conductor, magnesium the calming strings, vitamin B6 the translator weaving harmony between sections. And when they play together, the music is smooth, graceful, alive. The cramps that once shattered the night dissolve into silence, replaced by steady rhythm and deep rest. This is the gift of the banana, not simply a fruit, but a remedy disguised as sweetness, a healer hidden in plain sight, a daily act of nourishment that says, you are not powerless against age, you are still capable of strength. But the story of leg cramps has one more chapter, and it lies not in fruits or farmyard eggs, but in the smallest of foods, the kind you can hold in the palm of your hand. Tiny, overlooked, yet mighty. Nuts and seeds, nature's vault of hidden power. If the egg is the foundation and the banana the warrior, then nuts and seeds are the hidden vault. Tiny treasures, carrying an immense legacy of strength. Across history, they have sustained travelers on long desert treks, fueled warriors before battle, and served as sacred offerings in temples. Ancient Persians mixed nuts with honey for vitality. Roman gladiators were nicknamed hordearii, men of barley and seeds, because their strength was drawn from simple grains and nuts rather than feasts of meat. In every era, seeds have symbolized potential. Small, unassuming, yet capable of building empires of strength within the body. Science today reveals why. Ounce for ounce, nuts and seeds are mineral powerhouses. Magnesium, potassium, protein, and healthy fats, all compressed into a handful that fits in the palm. For seniors plagued by leg cramps, they are nothing short of medicinal. Consider magnesium. We have seen how its absence fuels the restless twitch of muscles, the lightning strike of night cramps. Just 1 ounce of pumpkin seeds delivers a staggering 168 milligrams, nearly 40% of the daily requirement. Almonds provide 77 milligrams, cashews 74. A simple handful, eaten daily, can replenish what medications and time have quietly drained away. And then there is potassium, the mineral conductor. While bananas are famous for it, nuts hold their own. Pistachios offer 290 milligrams in just 1 ounce, almonds 200, cashews 160. Together, magnesium and potassium repair balance, restore contraction and release, and shield the night from spasms. But their gifts do not end with minerals. Nuts and seeds are rich in healthy fats, monounsaturated and omega-3s that improve circulation, feeding muscles with oxygen and nutrients. Where poor blood flow leaves legs cramping in the dark, walnuts, flax, and almonds open the channels, delivering life to every cell. Omega-3s also cool the fires of chronic inflammation, the silent enemy that stiffens joints and locks muscles in pain. Here, the science becomes poetry. Each almond is like a torch, restoring circulation. Each walnut like a shield, guarding against inflammation. Each pumpkin seed like a key, unlocking the calm of magnesium. Together they form a quiet army, small, overlooked, yet relentless in their protection. But as always, wisdom is required. Nuts are calorie-dense, and portion control matters. A handful a day, about 20 almonds or 2 tablespoons of seeds, is enough to fortify without burden. Choose them raw, unsalted, or dry roasted, and their healing remains pure. Salted or processed varieties laden with sodium can instead dehydrate and worsen cramps. For some, allergies make nuts a closed door. In such cases, seeds, flax, chia, pumpkin, step in as safe allies. For others, sensitive digestion may require gradual introduction. The key, as always, is balance. Yet beyond nutrients, nuts and seeds carry a symbolic weight. They remind us that strength often comes not from the grand and obvious, but from the humble and hidden. A seed looks insignificant until it sprouts into a tree. A handful of nuts looks small until it transforms circulation, nerve health, and muscle calm. Imagine Samuel once more, our carpenter. His doctor suggests a small handful of almonds each day, or a sprinkle of flaxseed over his oatmeal. At first, he doubts, how can something so small change the storms in his legs? But weeks later, he notices the difference. Fewer nights of waking in pain, a steadier stride across his workshop floor, the quiet return of confidence in his own body. For seniors, nuts and seeds are more than snacks. They are rituals of resilience. Each bite is an act of defiance against frailty, a declaration that even in later years, strength can still be cultivated, one seed at a time. And so, the trilogy is complete. Eggs, bananas, nuts, and seeds. 3 foods, ordinary in appearance, extraordinary in power. Together, they form a circle of protection, repairing, replenishing, and restoring. But the story does not end here, for in truth, it is not about food alone. It is about the life those foods protect, the dignity of walking without pain, the freedom of sleeping without fear, the joy of living without being bound by cramps. And so, we arrive at our closing chapter. We began with a question. What if the cure for leg cramps was not in medicine, but in the kitchen? Now, after following the trail of science and story, tradition and truth, the answer stands before us. Eggs, bananas, nuts, and seeds. 3 foods, 3 allies, each carrying a piece of the puzzle. The egg repairs, restores, and carries the sunlight of vitamin D into the body. The banana replenishes, balancing the fluids of life with potassium, calming nerves with magnesium, and translating their messages with vitamin B6. Nuts and seeds fortify, opening circulation, cooling inflammation, and restoring calm with magnesium and omega-3s. Together, they form a trinity, a symphony of nutrition, each instrument playing its part, each note resonating with the others. Alone, they are strong. Together, they are harmony. For seniors, this is not just about reducing cramps. It is about reclaiming freedom. To walk without fear of sudden spasms, to sleep through the night without being jolted awake, to stand in the morning with steadiness, dignity, and confidence. These are not small victories, they are everything. But beneath the biology lies something deeper. To nourish the body is to honor the life it carries. To choose foods with care is to say, I am not finished. My strength is worth protecting. My independence is worth preserving. Think of Samuel, our retired carpenter. Once haunted by sleepless nights and painful spasms, he discovers this trilogy of foods. Eggs at breakfast, a banana before bed, a handful of almonds in the afternoon. Slowly, his body responds. The cramps lessen, the fear fades, and the joy of movement returns. It is not a miracle. It is not magic. It is simply nourishment, consistent and humble, transforming his life from within. The lesson is timeless. Across cultures, across history, food has always been medicine. Ancient healers prescribed herbs and seeds long before laboratories existed. Farmers knew the rhythms of soil and sun. Families passed down recipes not only for flavor, but for survival. Today, science affirms what wisdom has always known. The answers are often simple. And so, as the sun rises on a new day, picture seniors everywhere walking through their kitchens, reaching for an egg, peeling a banana, cupping a handful of seeds. Each act small, each choice ordinary, yet each one carries within it the power to rewrite the story of aging muscles. This is not about chasing eternal youth. It is about embracing strength in the years we are given. It is about aging not with fear, but with vitality. Not about escaping time, but walking with it, steady, strong, and free. In the end, health is not found in grand miracles. It is found in the quiet rituals of care, in the golden yolk of an egg, in the sweet curve of a banana, in the crunch of a seed. Simple foods, profound strength, a symphony of longevity waiting at your table.